Welcome, I'm Philip Kevrin. Today's masterclass is on classical pop. Classical pop. Your first question is, what is that? About 25 years ago, I was hired to do some arrangements of Billy Joel pop songs in the style of master composers. So we're talking, Piano Man in the style of Chopin, or Mozart, or Bartok. And I really enjoyed that project. And what seemed like maybe a gimmicky type of thing, I began to realize there was a lot of musical value in pulling ideas from the classics into popular repertoire, both from a teaching standpoint and also from a learning standpoint, and also from just a pure musical interest. So if you are watching this today as a teacher, I hope you'll get some ideas of what you might use in your teaching. If you're a student, you might get some ideas about how to play these arrangements or ideas about interpretation. If you're a composer or an arranger, I hope it will spur some ideas of your own, how you might use these ideas in your own work. I'm going to focus on 4 different books today. One is called Disney Songs for Classical Piano. We have Elton John for classical piano, Christmas Songs for classical piano, and then the Beatles for classical piano. So the examples that I will be playing from are from these 4 books. The first thing I always want to do in preparation is to know the song I'm going to arrange well. That may mean going and finding as many different versions of that song as I can find. If I'm going to do a Beatles song, I'm not going to just listen to the Beatles version. I'm going to find other well-known versions of that and listen to them. And with your streaming service or YouTube, you can listen to anything these days. I'm going to go and open up my streaming service, and let's say I wanted to arrange Cant Buy Me Love. I'm going to pull that up and listen. Just make sure that I know this song really well. And I think I might even just play a little bit of it here. Cant buy me love. Whoa, wow, that is loud. At that point, I begin thinking about the classical pieces that I know and think, what does it make me think of stylistically? Is there something that matches that song? And then begins the journey. So that is a general overview of the concept of classical pop and how we can marry these worlds in a creative way. So I'm going to leave my workstation here and move over to the grand piano, and let's look at some specific musical examples. All right, let's start with the Disney collection, Disney Songs for Classical Piano, and take a great song, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? For whatever reason, this song, just the spirit of it, the way it feels, reminded me of an Edward MacDowell piece called To a Wild Rose. And this is just a wonderful piece. Very simple. In fact, his indication says, with simple tenderness. Edward MacDowell was a late Romantic composer, American. Lived from 1860 to 1908. And this particular piece of music, when paired with Can You Feel the Love Tonight, is a great example of really using a lot of the source material in the arrangement. So the introduction for Can You Feel the Love Tonight is this. And straight into obviously, the introduction came straight out of the MacDowell piece. There's a spot in the McDowell piece that does this. So what we do in this arrangement is do this. And we use that idea as a transition. Straight out of the McDowell and then on to the chorus. Now listen, what happens here is we use the McDowell again as an accompaniment figure in my right hand. When we come to the end of this arrangement, we literally use the end of Wild Rose, which goes like this. Going to put that straight into Can You Feel the Love Tonight? So we have here comes the McDowell. Back to Can You Feel? That chord is straight out of the McDowell arrangement. These two pieces of music fuse together and become one statement. Let's look at another example of using a classical piece quite exactly in its content. In this case, Cant Buy Me Love, I'm going to pair with a Bela Bartok piano composition called Allegro Barbaro. And when I hear Cant Buy Me Love, that original recording, I feel just unbridled energy. And on the piano, this piece that is the style that this piece is played in. It is all big sound. I loved this piece when I was a kid. I dug this score out and I'm looking at it, and there's a lot of red on there. I'm guessing I missed a lot of points. I'm not sure, but there is a lot of red. All I know is that I loved this piece of music. And together with Cant Buy Me Love, we're going to take that style that is straight out of the Bartok spirit. Later in the arrangement, I quote, that's straight out of the Bartok piece. But we eventually land up here. And the ending is so here's an example of taking the actual stylistic things out of the Bartok piece, applying them into a pop piece of music. We're going to take a piece of music now from the Christmas world, and Christmas songs get arranged in so many different styles, and we hear them during the season in lots of different ways. In this case, I wanted to take a lesser known Christmas song called Snowfall and find a piece of classical music that had the same soft, beautiful texture of this tune. The tune is just Snowfall. Snowfall, snowfall. That is the whole tune in the front A section. And it's generally arranged in a very pastel sort of way. To me, pastels and soft colors bring to mind the Impressionistic era, people like Debussy. And Debussy happens to have a piece of music that opens in a way that I think works beautifully on the front of Snowfall. The piece is called Boating. I'm not going to even try to say the French title because I do not speak French and I don't want to destroy it. But here's what Debussy does. And he's going back and forth between G major and E minor. So we apply that to and here comes Snowfall. Now the interesting thing about that, when someone hears you play this arrangement, they're not going to think of the Debussy piece. It just gives you a place to start. It gives you some place to hang your hat in your arrangement. In this particular case, there's a section of the Debussy piece that has this little motif. Which is a whole tone scale. And I'm going to use that idea in my arrangement. Before I go into the bridge, so the Debussy motive becomes a transition within my arrangement. So this is an example, as you're arranging, of finding a classical model and not literally taking the whole piece and wrapping it around your arrangement, but rather taking an accompaniment idea or a harmonic idea and letting that form the basic impression of your arrangement. Lastly, we're going to look at Elton John for classical piano. Now, Elton John wrote a lot of songs that cover a lot of styles, really. Some of them more naturally fit into this idea. For instance, your song just fits so nicely. It's a very classical era idea. Notice the left hand is playing an Alberti bass, very typical in classical era works from Mozart and Clementi and others. But that's not the one I want to focus on. I want to show you an arrangement of Philadelphia Freedom. And Philadelphia Freedom is an upbeat pop tune. And I thought, where could we take that would be different than just the way we're used to thinking of that song? And I thought, what about the minimalist idea? Now, minimalism is a style of art composition that rose in the 1960s. Folks like Philip Glass wrote in a style where they're taking minimal ideas, small ideas, and letting them expand over a long period of time. And An idea like this could sit and float for minutes. And then when there's a change, boy, you really sense it because you have gotten so used to hearing it, and then it might go a long time there, and then suddenly. So every move becomes important because there are so few. So here we take this idea. There's our minimal idea. There's Elton's motif. There's the change. That idea becomes almost a secondary motif that's going to become important later. Now, I only went 2 measures here, but you could play that a long time. Just let that sit. Here comes the change. Here comes that idea again. And finally, we go to the chorus. So here's an example of taking a piece completely out of its original environment, placing it in a new setting, and seeing how does it speak in that setting. Thank you for stopping by today. Music is a universal language. We all have our own take on it, but there are some concepts that are truly universal across style. And it was fun to be able to share some of that with you today. Hope to see you again soon.